Um, so CodeCamp, okay, our model is different. Okay, so we are not, we do not want to cancel you out by giving you just one chance. You submit, we have graded you, this is your grade, there's no adjustment. So we try as much as possible to give feedback, have review sessions. I know that I think they actually held one on Saturday to actually try as much as possible to explain certain stuff that some of you did not understand. Though some of you did not actually go back to watch the video of the last class, and then you attempted or you did the assignment, okay, and of course, as usual, expected a promotion, okay. So I want to say this, and I want you guys to this same thing I said to the front end guys. So I'm actually bringing it guys to you too. We are doing a lot, okay. The mentors are doing a lot, and what we are doing, you don't. It's not something that you're seeing in your training programs. Of course, every training program has its own model, okay. But our model it's modeled towards actually having you to being concerned and trying as so we give a lot of feedbacks. We try to have review sessions. Sometimes you submit and we're like, okay, you know what, we're gonna give you another chance. Fix this. You do it again, we tell you, no, you need to fix this. Now the back and forth, okay, in as much as, of course, like we said, it's our model, but at the same time, it should not be abused. Why am I saying? Number one, some of you are in 2-3 training programs, okay? Manage your time, utilize it. When it is Zuri, every other training, when it's time for Zuri, okay, every other training program should wait, including CodeCamp. When it's time for Google UI UX course, I want to believe you guys have a timetable or something. You channel that. Everything should have its own time. There is no use, honestly speaking, there is no use in being everywhere and not giving the right energy. There's no use. Okay? You can be in 10 training programs and yet you do not even come out, with the right amount of knowledge and expertise that is expected of you. Because you're trying to carry a lot of things at the same time. Okay? So why am I saying this? A task was given, and if you notice, I had to cancel out every submission because instructions were not followed. And these are the reasons why instructions were not followed. Number one, not understanding the instruction. Number two, not attending the class, either on Zoom or probably rewatching it or watching it on YouTube. Not even revisiting it. And of course, one very important thing is laziness. Now, let me explain laziness in this context. Sometimes we implement stuff on one, but we do not want to implement it on the other. Probably like a typical example is I saw some submissions where the person created a text style, used it on just one or two texts, and then the rest you chose not to use it. So probably you felt that was boring. Probably you felt it was monotonous. How do I keep doing all these things? But they may not find out. Trust me, I found out. And that's why we are here right now. And that's why we keep on being here, because I've actually stepped in to know what is actually going on. Because I want you guys to come out knowing this thing and not sabotaging yourself. I don't want you to claim to know. I want you to actually know, because it is for your own good. Now, I do not see a reason why. One of the things I like to do is I like to ask myself, okay, if I'm given something to do, okay, I like to ask myself, in the end of, when I'm done, one of the things I like to ask myself is, assuming I was the one who gave out this task or gave out this job, okay, will I happily receive what I'm about to give this person now? How will I actually rate it? Have I done the due diligence? Some of us, we do our work haphazardly, either because we are rushing, and that is a very big problem because you want to meet up all the data because you are everywhere. So you do not sit down to understand and follow the process. Look, you will not skip any process anymore. If you were skipping it somewhere, you won't skip it anymore. And I'm going to make very, very, very sure of that. So this is just a few nuggets from one of the mentors. Now, some mentors will actually try to, they'll definitely talk to you guys before we go into what you guys are supposed to do today. Now, so this is just a few nuggets from one of the mentors. I think he's unavoidably absent. I don't know if he'll join. Hopefully, I think you guys are okay. I think he's okay. So let me just go and try. Now, let's note this before I hand over to, I think Design Chi, you're here, right? So can you hear me? Okay, Design Chi is here, Trudy is here, Chi is here. Okay, good. Okay, good. Now, I want you guys to understand that this design process is a must. The process to design is a must. When you skip certain processes, it affects the user or the client. Shortcuts, there's some of all these, avoid this and don't avoid this, and skip this one, don't skip this one. When you skip any process at all, there is always an effect in the end. And as designers, the effect is either on the user or it's going to be on the client. And that shows that you're a bad UI UX designer. You see, sometimes bad, the word bad can either mean, sometimes it actually does mean you can be termed a bad UI UX designer for probably not following a process. Not really because you're not good in implementing UI. But when you skip when we say bad UX or bad UI, not really in the sense that everything, but certain processes has been skipped, has been neglected. Following design process is a must. It is not I may do it or I may not do it. I need you guys to also understand that any little mistake you have, any little mistake you make has an impact on the user. You guys, of course, I strongly believe that you will get jobs. Companies will employ you and the likes of that. You're going to get remote gigs and the likes. Any mistake you make, okay, can have a great impact on the user and at the same time on your client. I don't know how many of you have watched, or maybe on YouTube, okay, there's this, I don't know if it's ClickUp. There's this project management tool they like to advertise, and this is actually the scene. The guy is actually coding, and then they meet him. Hey, there's this new feature that we need to do. I need you to get on it right away. Hey, the button is not aligned. You need to sort that right away. Like the guy was just overwhelmed. They were trying to just explain they were trying to just sell a management tool. I can't even remember the name. But one of the things they put out there when they talked about that a particular button or so was not actually aligned, that you should fix it with ASAP. Now, it is possible that little mistake, that little alignment thing that probably you felt in your eyes, it was very aligned. It's possible that could have a major impact on the client, on that product. That could give a lot of bad reviews. Probably when they go ahead to build let's say it's a mobile app, and then you made the button to be somewhere that it's not supposed to be. And probably as a user, users can be very, very funny when they're trying to test your app or use your app. They can decide to do what you never expected them to actually do. And then they just go ahead and do it. And then the effect of that go straight to your review. So on Play Store, I don't know if you go to Play Store and see reviews of the reviews people give, how sometimes stuff are slow and some of that. Let me give you a typical example. Now, of course, when you're designing, let's say you're designing a mobile application and then you want to have 3 onboarding screens. And of course, you know that you're going to hand over this stuff to a mobile app developer to develop. And he's going to take everything. He's going to need the color code. He's going to need the fonts. He's going to need everything, your images. So, of course, that is why you need to have a style guide. We're going to talk about, don't worry, style guide is not something I want to talk about. They will do that. But now imagine, let's say in your onboarding screen, you have an image. Maybe 3 of them there are 3 images you used there for your onboarding screen. And maybe you got it from Unsplash. Now in exporting it, that image is about 4 MB, 4 megabytes. Now, trust me, from someone who has actually built mobile apps, if your onboarding screen, your splash screen or something like that has so, in fact, your image should not be so high when it comes to size. And then the app will actually crash. That's just the truth. Not because of anything, but on lower devices, the app will just crash. And then you see something like somebody saying, I can't actually, the app is not running on my phone. Why you as a designer, you just, because of course developers will just pick what they want. They pick what you did and they follow every process for everything you did, they just follow it. So understand that some of these mistakes you make or you may make will have an effect on the user, and at the same time having an effect on the client who may be, or of course is the owner of the product, and that in turn gives you a bad review as a designer. Okay, and then we talked about empathy, guys. Okay, we talked about empathy. Empathy is very, very important. I'll put it the way one of your mentors put it. Say it's being selfless and willing to help make a difference. That's another way of seeing empathy. Okay. Now, but I want you guys to be realistic also when designing. You need to be very realistic. Okay, well, I saw someone going as far as on this at particular task, going as far as adding a login, sign up. Well, that's nice. I love the fact that you're thinking out of the box. But at the same time, young man, not all websites should have a login. Okay, not all websites should have a login. Not all websites at all should have a login, because some websites are just informational. Okay, some websites are just what's informational. Now, the task you were given, this the website and everything. Okay, it's informational per se. Was there anything like there was no? It's just this landing page is just informational. Okay, though. Okay, I think you have I think a logo. I'm seeing. I feel like showing people submissions, but I will do that. I will go to that now before, but I'll just share that while I call on 1 or 2 mentors to say 1 or 2 things. Okay, but in the end, guys, what I want you to know is this: I will not move you forward until you follow the process. I will not move you forward until I can see and I can beat my chest that you know what to do and you are doing it. Because one thing is to know what to do, another thing is to do it. There are persons who don't know what to do, so they don't do it. There are persons who know what to do, but out of whatever reason, they don't do it completely. And of course, there are persons who know what they are doing. But funny enough, for persons who know what they are doing with respect to this time, they're not much. It's not. I've not even seen up to 10. Honestly, with respect to this task, I have not seen up to 10. Okay, so please let's take note of that. Okay, so let me just do this. This is how this section is going to run right now. So we'll just take a few words from the mentors, and then we'll go to you post task. Now I'm going your trainer. Okay, she will actually now go through the style guide. Okay, one thing is creating a style guide, another thing is using it. A lot of you that were able to create, you were not using it. Some persons their creation was actually very poor because they were missing out on some certain things. That's why I don't know if it was um, them trying to hurry up. What are you hurrying up for? You had since Thursday, okay, and I still extended it today. Some of you have done it. So why are you hurrying? Manage your time, okay? Manage your time. It is very, 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 very important, okay? So that's actually, so that's how it's going to run today. And then in the end, please don't activate your mic or video. Don't see your face. Okay? Don't see your face. Thank you. So in the end, guys, I will extend the submission to what do they call it? After this class, it's going to be expected. I'm going to give you guys from now till 12 p.m. tomorrow to make the changes. And why I'm giving, you don't worry, the time is not short. It's not. It's not short because you've already done. You guys have done. Now, let me just say this: you've actually done an amazing job so far. Some of you have done some pretty much a very good job. Okay, some of these just a few things that you need to actually pay attention to. Okay, which will not actually take time. I saw a lot of you are submitted. You rush too much and you set yourself up. You rush too much and you set yourself up. Please, I want you guys to know. I want you to know this thing. I am more concerned about you knowing it. Because I always say this. You guys are a reflection of what KodeCamp. You're a reflection of the people teaching and training you. So because you're a reflection of that, I will not let you, let you off that easily. I'll try as much as possible to make sure that, look, you know what is wrong and then you correct it. Okay? You know what is wrong and then you can correct it. So I'm trying to see someone is saying something in chat. So Leo, what you said something that you can't even know if you're what? Leo, unmute yourself, please. Hello, Leo, are you on the call? Or you've stepped out? Okay. So well, that's fine. Maybe you can't hear me. But you have a Figma board. Comments are being made on your Figma board. Comments are being made on. So when you say you do not know what is wrong or what is right, that's very funny. Because you have comments being dropped on your Figma board. So let's try as much as possible to, pay attention to those. Okay, so Design Chi, are you on the call, please? Let's do this quickly and move on. Or maybe we'll just have I think we'll just round up with mentors actually saying one or two things. Let's get straight into that. So let me share my screen, okay, and show you guys. I just want to show you guys a few things. I want to point out a few things for you guys. Let me point out a few things. Let me bring it up. I'm trying as much as possible. I don't want to show anybody's name. So let me share my screen. Okay. Let's see. I think this is fine. Okay, so confirm you can actually see the screen. Confirm with a raise of hand. Okay, good. Thank you very much. So now looking at this, of course, as a beginner, I want to say, wow, nice. Wow, this person tried. Wow, yeah, actually, you did. Of course, you tried. There's no doubt about that. Okay, but it's not all about placing pictures and images and whatever. I'm still looking out for the little things that you probably did not pay attention to. And one of it is definitely, let me just even start. What is this? If at all this was the font size of this, because I want to feel that this represents probably a user. If this was the font size, I want to believe this should be aligned properly. You think, I know some of you will be like, as small as this thing is, yes, every little detail counts. Every little detail what counts. And of course, comments were made. This person did not even have this person didn't even have one or two. I think the person didn't even have a style guide, I think, and then he fixed it later. So for some of you who are asking, how do you know? How do you know? You have a comment section, and this has been talked about before. Always check your comment section. So this F, I don't know. This F, this F is actually funny. So you see that, I am more concerned about you guys knowing stuff, not just, I won't just so you know, okay, as far as your design is concerned, I won't just look at it like this and say, wow. I'll look at those small little things that probably you felt nobody would see. Those are the ones I will look out for. Now, let me show you guys another thing. Now, if you're using a style guide because you were instructed in the assignment that you should use a style guide, it was an instruction. Now, in your style guide, you get to create, okay, let me go back to this. If you're using a color, there are color styles. So here, I should not see this guy. This is not what I should see. I shouldn't see this. And let me just compare. Let me show you. Let me bring out one of your what you guys did in class. What you guys did in class. Let me actually just. But before then, okay. So now look at this circle. This circle has a color and a text. What is the color style? I'm actually just seeing a color code here. So this means that you are, if you created, of course, let me show you guys this. So this is it here. You did not create this text style. You just put a circle and a color code and a color. Because you're not even using, in as much as it is here, you are not using it here at all. You're not using it. You're not using that style. So I am seeing all this, and I'm just seeing you. What I'm basically seeing here is a rectangle with a color. You have not made a style out of it. That's basically what I'm seeing here. But of course, you would say you've done a style guide. Your typography too. There's no name now. Like I don't get. Now I want to show. So one last person. Let me bring out one last submission. Before, and this is for someone who actually did. The person actually did a style guide, I think, yeah, but didn't. So let me open another tab for you guys to see this. I need you guys to be able to see. And you need to pay attention to the most tiny details. Don't worry, none of you are in stage 5. That's what they're saying. Nobody is in stage 5 yet. Okay, it's after this. Then I'll actually. I find nobody has been graded. I've cleared off everything, so it's just your submission that is there. I'll start grading. Will actually commence 12 p.m. tomorrow. So by that 12 p.m. I'll close the link. Okay, at 12 p.m. I'll close the link. But grading will commence 12 p.m. tomorrow. Any other person that gets, of course, all of you have, remember I said 3 feedbacks. This is the second feedback for everybody. So you have just one feedback left. Okay, so let's look at this. So persons, trust me, if it's comments, you get comments. Now, this is this person's style guide. Now, this person used the style guide. You can see the name. You can see the name, main one, right? Hope I'm right. Yeah, I can see something like this. Person name, who unmuted his mic? Okay, I think she just go to waiting room. Okay, thank you. Now, so this is your style guide. I can see your colors. I can see your heading. You named it style. Okay, style header. I can see your. That's interesting. Good. Now let's come to your design. I can see your components too. You even went as far as being a component. Why is your, so let me go to your design. Sorry, hope I'm not too fast in spinning this stuff. So let's start with this. Now you can see here. So look at this. Let's inspect this. I'm seeing a logo 1, and I'm seeing the color code. So this is actually telling me that this guy is using a style. He's getting something from somewhere. Okay, so let me look at the text, the home. I can see from here the typography style regular. And I think you named that style regular. I can to confirm. Let me see. Did you? So style semi-bold, style regular. But what was the comment I gave to this young person? Of course, you'd say he did a very good job. I can see his style guide. He used it in some places. But what did I tell him? I said, why are you not using your colors from your style guide? I think he actually even changed it later after the comments. See, they just, so this is, okay, Tobiola, I'm sorry, they just weren't named. So you don't create a style guide and don't name it. If you don't give it a name, left for me, you do not have a style guide. Okay? If you don't give it a name, left for me, you do not have a style guide. Because in the class where you were being taught, when styles were created, color styles, text styles, they were named. You name it so you can call it. You don't just create and then you leave it like that. That was not how you were taught. So how are you now doing what you're doing? Item 3. So this person, well, I can actually, I'm not in the promoting move yet, but I can actually let this person, move forward. I can. To an extent, I can. So please, now let me show you something. This one, you see every text he used the text style. Some persons, they probably used it in home. They did not use it in every other text. They probably just used it in home, but they did not use it for every other word text. So you're using your text style in just one place. You think I will not find out if you're not using it? I will check all these things. See, I have time. I can make out time. I can even buy bread and granite as I'm eating. I'm checking it out. Very, very important. Now, even for your logo, this your arrow. You have a color style. You can use your color style for the arrow. And I'm ready to not even promote you because of this arrow. Because you have a color style that you can use here. I can decide not to promote you now because of this. Now, will it sound like I'm being a bit strict? Well, yes. Yes, it could sound like that. But as far as you're still learning, you're in the beginner level for a reason. It means that you need to learn to do it the right way. When you grow, you can now decide to play shortcuts outside. Don't play the shortcut here. Don't show experience here. No, when you go out, you understand. That's when you can do it. But as far as being in KodeCamp is concerned, you have to follow every process, every instruction to the letter. You have to follow it to the letter. It is for your own good, guys. It is for your own good. Okay, it is for your own good because, like I always say, you want to go out there, you want to be this, you want to be that. If a company outside calls you for a job, what will you? They won't take this now. They won't take this. They won't take this. And funny enough, some of you, if you grow to become your own, to be your own company, you have your own. Let's say you have your own tech firm, and then you collect your job. Will you want someone to work like this for you? You wouldn't want that. You wouldn't want it. So let's take note of that. So for the sake of some of us who were not in the last class, please make sure you always watch the video. Before attempting any task, make sure you actually watch the video. Ask questions if possible. Ask questions if possible. Now, so what's going to happen now? Your trainer is going to all right. So she'll actually now take you guys on creating a style guide. Nothing too much, or not actually doing a lot of things here, and then using it for the sake of some of us who were not there. Now, if you have questions, please ask your questions. Okay. If you have a question, there's something that's not clear. Okay. Please ask your question for you to actually be very clear. Okay. Please, I understand that some of you feel like you're putting a lot and it's like you did nothing. No, no, no. You did something. All of you did something. And to an extent, to a great extent, I'm actually impressed to a great extent. But it's the little things that matters most times. Just the little, and sometimes it's just little things that may just, throw you off. It's those little things that may just you know, differentiate you from somebody else. So let's take notes. Let's take notes of that. Okay, let's take note of that. So you can keep your questions. Maybe you can ask it on the chat. Mentors will also try as much as possible to answer you there. But at the same time, let's just go straight into what we actually have for today. Okay. Okay. So, Miss Favor, I think I'm going to hand over to you right now. Okay. Yeah. I'll just hand over to you. Thank you very much, guys.
Hello guys, good evening. Please confirm you can hear me by raising your hands. Okay, thank you very much. You can drop your hands now. So I wouldn't say I am exactly excited or thrilled by the submissions, because I saw a lot of things and I got a lot of questions that had me thinking if we paid attention to the last class, or if you read the instructions, or you just went ahead and you saw the assignment, right? You saw the design and you got very excited, went down and started designing. I just want to let you guys know that there is no shortcuts. Okay, there are steps to this thing. You don't just wake up one morning and decide that, okay, I want to design this and I'm going straight into design. You have to start from somewhere, and that's where style guide comes in. Okay, like I said, style guide actually helps you to maintain consistency in your work, in your design. Okay, and it makes the whole job role very easy, because when I have my color styles, my textiles, and my components, okay, I have all of that handy. All I have to do is just click on a particular thing. Maybe I want to put down a text. I want to change a color. I just do that from my color. So I don't have to start writing or imputing the color codes, or thinking about what font style or textile that I used and all of that. It actually saves us a lot of stress. So I told you guys, I think number one question was create a style guide. That was the first thing you were supposed to do. But then I saw a lot of people went into the design first. So you're answering number two before number one. You were asked to create a style guide, and then using this style guide you have created, replicate this dribble design. But a lot of you guys did not do that. So some people managed to use the style guide they created, while most people they did not use it at all. So they just created the style guide and left it there, and then they did their design just like that. So I'm clicking on some certain things on the design. I am not seeing that you actually used the style guide, which is actually very, very bad. Okay, so I am actually just I'm going to go back to this style guide we created in the last class. And then I'm going to show you guys, because I saw a few submissions, right? It's this particular person that I was going through the person's work, and then I did not see any style guide. Okay, this was the only thing I saw, a design like this. There was no style guide. So I'm asking this person, where is your style guide? He's like, see, it's there now. It's on the right hand side. This is my style guide. It's actually very funny. Okay. Because even when if the person had it here, the person did not even use it, okay, during the whole design stuff. So if I click on this guy now, you can see I've clicked on this text. We have Favor Sunday. If you check on the right hand side, you can see it here that I used heading 1 as my textile. I actually use this textile that I created. And the colors, right? You can also see here that I used these colors from the color styles that I created in my design. But most of you guys did not have this on your work. I'm clicking on this thing and I'm still seeing pop-ins. When you created a style guide that says heading 1, I'm seeing pop-ins here. And I click on the color, I'm seeing the same, like the color code. When you actually created a color style, it doesn't make any sense. So now that IKEAs have given you guys the mercy of resubmitting, I do not expect to see that, because as I already said, the marking, right, is going to be very strict. So do not be surprised if at the end you think that you actually did a good job, but you have not been promoted to stage 5. So put your head in the game and make sure that you give your absolute best. Don't try to rush. Nobody is rushing you. Don't put yourself under a lot of pressure. Calm down and do the right thing. So I'm just going to shift this aside and just do another example. So I already created this. So as you can see on the right hand side, I already have this. I have my style guides here. I have my color styles. So I'm going to be using this to just do something simple, because I've already been instructed not to do like make a big deal out of this. Just to show you guys how to use the style guide. Okay. So for the sake of those that were not in the last class, or those that did not rewatch the YouTube video, I'm just going to do this, right? I'm just going to get a text. Assuming I am not using the ballo that was suggested in the last class, I'm going to use another text style now. So first of all, what I like to do, right, is to get my frame. That way I know that my work is actually very organized. I'll just get a simple frame here. And then I call this typography. I want to know what textile I am using, okay, just to keep my work organized, like I said. So I'm probably going to use what do I use? What do I use? I'll just use pop-ins. So I'm going to write here. First of all, I'm going to detach this style. You know, I already created a style guide, but now I am changing this. Okay, so I'm just going to detach this guy and put pop-ins here. And I want to change this to probably 48. So I'm going to just write here textile. Our textile here is pop-ins. Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to get my, just like we did in the last class. Sorry about that. I'm going to call this heading 1. I'm just going to do a line because I'm trying to illustrate. You already taught this in the last class. Okay. So I call this heading 1, and this is where I get to select the size that I want. So let's say I want the size of this text to be, I don't know, let's say 64. Okay, so that's my heading 1. I could just decide to write a text here. And then this is where I'm going to now put the points. So we're using 48 points. So I'm just going to put that here. No, it's not. Okay, 64 rather. Sorry about that. But 64 points. So now, watch this. We already have 64 here, right? Poppins, medium. So we're good to go. All I have to do is come here, this icon that says style. I'm going to click on this. And on this plus icon, this is where I get to create a style. So when I click on this guy, this is what we have. So this is where I get to probably put here heading 1, maybe slash poppins. And I create my style. So I already have that style now. So if I want to now, all I have to do is just click on this guy. Come here, style, click on style, and then go to heading 1 that has poppins. You know, the style that I just created now. Click on it here. And I'm just made use of my text style. The same thing goes for this guy here. I'll just come to style, click on style, and then select the text style that I want to use. And that's it. It's very simple. The same thing goes for the color. I decide to use a rectangle today. Okay. So I have 4 rectangles here, right? And I want to create a color style. First of all, I have to decide what my primary color is going to be. So I'm just going to come here and get a few. I'll probably just go with this color as my primary color. Okay. So like I showed you guys before, what I normally do is, get a text here to indicate that this is actually my primary color. Because like I said, I like to keep my work organized. And I like to also put my color styles next to it. So what's the color style for this one here? We have F299 4A. I'm just going to copy that. So yes, there you have it. I'm going to click on this guy here. Okay, I'm not going to create the color styles yet because I want to make sure that I've gotten all my colors. So, but one thing you should understand is if you know you're going to use lighter shades of your primary colors, right? This is when you're going to do this. Okay, otherwise most people just want to keep their primary colors, put their secondary colors and all of that. But because I probably want to use other shades of my primary colors or other shades of my colors, right, in my design, I'm going to create other shades now. So all I have to do is just paste the color code here and then come here. I remember telling you guys about HSL in the last class. So this is where I get to, select. I like to do this because instead of just going around and picking random colors, from here, clicking on any random colors, I may be out of line. I may actually get a color that it's not my primary color, that is way out of what I am working with. So what I like to do, right, is just to, I'm going to put this again to make sure I'm actually doing the right thing. So what I like to do, like I said, you see this third box where you have 62, right? I like to add 10 to that to change the color and give me a lighter shade of whatever color code I have here. So 10 plus 62 here gives me 72. So I'm going to put 72 here. And there you have it. I've gotten a lighter shade of my primary color. So that means the next one is going to be 82. So all I have to do is click on the third rectangle here, paste the color like I always do. Come here, change this to 82. It gave me even a more lighter shade. I'm going to do the same thing for this guy here. So this one is going to be 92 since the other one was 82. So there you have it. So what do I have to do now? I click on this guy. I want to create a color style now. So for those of you that maybe you're confused about how to, create a color style or how to make use of them. So please watch this and watch closely. So all I have to do now is just like I did for the rest. I come here where you have this style. I click on it. The plus sign, this is how you create a style. So I'm going to click on this now and call this primary. Or because I already have primary, I don't want to get confused. I'm just going to call this orange. Orange 1. Okay, just what I can actually identify that color by. So I'm going to call that orange 1. Call this, I'm going to create this style, the same method like that I used for the first one. Click on this guy here. Create a style. Call this orange 2. Create my style. I do the same thing for the third one. Create style. Call this orange 3. So this is what most people like to do, right? They like to put in, maybe they could have a common name for, the whole color, maybe call it primary, and then slash whatever number that color code has. Okay, maybe according to the opacity, it could be 60, it could be 100, it could be 80, and the likes. That's how most people like to create their own styles. But make sure that when you're creating your styles, it is actually, this is your way of identifying that color style that you have created. So for the last one now, I'm just going to call this orange 4, the same method that we used. And I've created this style. So now I have all of this. If I click out, you can see here, orange 1, orange 2, orange 3, orange 4. So this has automatically I've created a color style. Okay. And for this guy too, you can see it here. So that's how to create a style guide. Now I'm going to just run a simple design using this style guide that I have created. Okay, let me say I want to. All right. Okay. So for example, I okay. Like I said, I don't want to do something simple. So I'll just get a circle here. I'll place a circle here at the center because what's the purpose of this? The purpose of this is just to show you guys how to make use of the style guide we have created. Okay, so I'm just going to make this probably 250. Centralize it. And then I'll just get a text. Okay, so for this guy now, I'm going to detach this. Reasons being that I want to show you guys how to now use the style guide that you created. So this is what I saw in most of the submissions that I got. So I clicked on a particular text and I'm seeing this. That means the person did not use the style guide he or she created in the design. Just like I click on this circle now, and you can see this. Okay, so this also shows that the person did not use the color style that he or she created. So how do I use this? All I have to do is the same method, click on the icon that, that says style. When you do, you're going to see a list of color styles that you have created. If you have not created, that place is going to be absolutely blank. But if you have created a color style, you're going to see a list of color styles that you have created. Remember, we created orange 1, orange 2, orange 3, and orange 4. So this is where I get to decide which color style I want to use for this circle here. And I'm just going to click on orange 1. And that's it. Instead of going over and start thinking, oh, what color code did I use? Was it F9? Was it F2? And all of that. It's already my color style. And I have actually, I've given it a title or a name. The same thing with this text here. You can see here we just have poppins, 64. Even if you want to change this to 24, right? Or maybe this thing was in a regular or light. And I want to decide, okay, that I want to use heading 1 for this particular text that says favor. All I have to do is follow the same method. When you have style, click on it. This is the this text that we just created, which is heading 1 popping 64. All I have to do is just click on it, and I have this. But a lot of you guys did not do this. You just put your design together, put your text when you already have a style guide that you created. Nothing changes. You don't even make use of it. So if I decide that, because I already created my color styles, the same thing for the text. All I have to do is come here to change the color, to make use of the color styles that I created. I click on this style here, then pick the color. If I probably want this to be the color. But since I created a color style, a text style in my last class, I can decide to use this text one. And like I said, this helps you to maintain consistency, because I cannot expect to, see this particular color for my text here. And then in the next screen that I am designing, I am seeing another color that does not even make sense. That is not even part of my textiles. Do you understand? So this is the reason why we create style guides. It's not because we do not have work to do, or we're just trying to play around. There's actually a reason, because it helps for the smooth running of the whole design process. And also it helps when you're working in a team. So this is why you need to learn this. Don't try to get a shortcut, because when you get to the project first and you're working in teams with your partners, first of all, before you even start the design project, a style guide has to be created, and each and every one of you let's say maybe we're 5 working on a project. Myself, Iechi, who again, I'm just calling random names. Benjamin, maybe Design Chi and Trudy were working on a project together. A style guide has been created. That's why we have the components, we have the color styles. So if this is the color style, right? I do not expect Iechi, okay, when designing is maybe you have a primary color. When he's running his own design, maybe he was asked to design the homepage, and then I am seeing something like I'm seeing another color here as his own primary color. No, that's not being done. Or I'm seeing another color for the text. So we have a text style. We have created a style guide rather. Okay. And we have the primary color. We've created primary color, secondary colors, and all of that. So all he has to do is, we've already created them. So it's just here. All he has to do is just click on this guy here and get the primary color. No sweat. Very easy. So the reason why we even asked you guys to create this was to make it easy for you guys. But all of you, you want shortcuts. You wanted the easy way, and that's not done. Okay, so you have to know that that design has a particular process, and you have to take it one after the other, step by step. So with that being said, I told you guys I'm not going to do anything, complicated. With that being said, if you have any questions, please raise your hands up so I can call you. Now is the time. If you have any questions, please raise your hands. Okay, Leo Ekene, please ask your question. Hello, Leo, are you on this call? I'm gonna call somebody else. Okay. Olamide, please unmute and ask your question.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening. And please, I wanted to ask, you created multiple, like this orange now, while you were teaching us how to reduce the opacity with 10, adding 10, you created like 5 of those, of that same color. Now,
Okay.
what if you don't get to use everything? Like you said, orange 1, orange 2, to orange 5. Like maybe you now use just orange 1, 2, and 5. Are you supposed to remove orange 3 and 4 from the style guide?
Okay. So Olamide, like I said, and I remember your mentor EHC pointed this out on the review session, but I do not know if you were there. So you have to decide, okay, this is the decision you're going to make. Am I going to make use of these colors, the lighter shades, okay, for my design? Okay, am I going to make use of this? If you're not, there is no need creating it. So it's all up to you. If I am going to probably, I'm doing a design now, right? And then for this circle here, I want to make use of the lighter shade of my orange. This is what I do. Do you understand? So you have to decide if you're going to make use of it, then you have to create it. If you're not, then don't sweat it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Udeme Jonah, please unmute and ask your question.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Please, I want to know, do we have to create a color guide for all the colors? Like, for example, in the task that we were given, are we meant to create a color guide for all the colors that are represented on the design? Are we to create all of them? Then also on textile, how do we do in a situation whereby one design like you gave us as as a task has more than one font type, like different font type, and so how do we create color guide for such design, please, and in textile rather?
Okay. So I'm going to answer your first question. You asked if you're creating a color style for all the colors in the the dribble design. Yes, you are. You're creating a color style for every one of them. And in a situation where you're using different, okay, like in the design, right? Using different textiles, all you have to do is just name them and make sure that when you're creating your textile, you can actually identify them. You can maybe call this Poppins bold one. Call this what's the other? Maybe you're using what other one? Ballo text too. Okay, just make sure that you can actually identify them. Do you understand? Giving them titles that is not going to get you confused if you're using more than one textile. Do you understand, Udeme?
Yes, I do. Thank you. I do. Thank you.
Right. Kenny Osoba, please unmute and ask your question.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
Good
I
evening.
don't know if you're still going to talk about the auto layout because you said that everything we want to work on, we should always use the auto layout. The problem I had with it is that every time I put it, the what do I call them now? The elements get to be distorted, as in they go out of place. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong there, you know. So that's my question. Then I don't know if you're still going to talk about components too. Because
Kenny, you pay me in dollars if I have to go back to
I
all
would
of that.
even pay you euro.
Okay, so
Thank
I understand what you're saying in the auto layout, right? The reason
Yeah.
why your elements are, going sideways, going this other way, is because you do not really understand how to make use of auto layout. Okay, I'm just going to probably show you an example.
Okay.
So example by just typing out something. Let's see, home, and then I am going to get an icon from Iconify. Just get a random icon, or maybe the one that actually signifies home, so we know we're on the same page. Okay, I'll get this guy. Okay, so I'm just going to reduce this guy here because it's too big. All right. So now I have these two elements. I have this icon and I have this guy here. So all I have to do is just select this guy, these guys together, and then select Shift A to add my auto layout. Oh wow, auto layouts, they've given us something new. They've given us new features here. All right. So if I now decide that, okay, I want to, probably click on this. Did you see that? So all of these things, they have their functions. So if you do not know how to use all of this, you will get confused. And at the end of the day, you end up messing your work. Okay. So this, if you click on this now, you can see that. So understand when you said that you actually selected your auto layout and your elements were going this other way, they're just like they're not aligned like you would want them. So you should understand that all of this, okay, they have their own functions. So this is for top left alignment, top center alignment. You can see what that does. The same thing with this guy, top right alignment, and this is to bring it to the middle. Okay, and then here, right, is the spacing between the items. So this is where you get to decide, do you want your spacing to be 50? You can see that. So all of this, they have, okay, they have their function. This is for the horizontal pattern. This is for the vertical pattern. This is where you get to put in the numbers. So if you want the horizontal padding to be 10 and you want this to be 20, this is where you get to do all of that. And then if you want this guy to go in the horizontal direction, this is also where you get to do that. So if you do not understand this and you add auto layout to your design or to your component, you end up getting confused. Okay, so like I said, all of this, they have their functions. Okay, so do you understand that?
Yes, I do. Thank you very much.
All right.
Components.
What's his name? Shandu, please, there's no time. I'm being warned. Shandu, please unmute and ask your question.
Good evening. So they've asked most of the questions I want to ask. I just wanted to chip in that for me personally, after a class, when I attempt a task and I don't get it clear, I go back to the video, and if I don't still understand, I do further research on YouTube. So, but I don't know where they put comment on Figma, because I do my best to try and do this thing and split in time, hoping that I'll get to be reviewed before other people, before there's a rush. And now I don't see comments or anything at all on my Figma. And I mean, some other persons are saying they see comment here and there. I don't know if you can show me where the comments is, or why some of us don't get comments. Thank you.
Okay, so your question is how to see comments. First of all, if you're someone who checks your mail regularly, okay, you're going to get a mail concerning that you just got a comment on your Figma board. But aside that, if you go back to maybe you came on Slack and you were asked to check your Figma for comments, you see this icon here. You're going to see a red dot over it. That's showing that you've gotten a new comment. So all you have to do is just click on it. And you're going to see your comments, the comments that the person has made on the right-hand side of your Figma board. It's that easy. So just when you come on your Figma board, always check out for this guy. You're going to see a red circle over this icon here, showing that you have a new comment. Otherwise, you're going to get a mail telling you that you've gotten a comment on your Figma board. Does that answer your question, Shandu? Okay, I guess it does. Lucky Blessing, please unmute and ask your question.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
My question is about those boxes where the items are. Are we to make style guides for them too? Because when I submitted, since it was just one color, I was not going to be using it repeatedly. I just created a cycle with the colors individual for all the boxes. So I just want to know if I can make style guide for all of them.
Yeah, I already answered that question. Yes, you're supposed to make a color style for all the colors on the design.
All right, thank you. That's all.
Okonkwo Isaac, please unmute and ask your question.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I just want to ask, how do we recognize primary colors? It's a little confusing for me. Someone said that it's the major color used in a design or something, but looking at this stats we were given, I can't really find the major color. So how do I know, generally, how do I know a primary color?
So like the person who told you that's the color, okay, that's the major color that you see in a design. So if you're going on a website or maybe an application, okay, I'm going to ask you this. What's the primary color of Facebook?
That's blue, light blue.
How about Twitter?
Blue, a different shade of blue, but blue also.
How did you know?
Because of their logo.
Is it only because of their logo?
Majorly, yes.
Or because you've actually seen a lot of text and buttons with that same color?
Okay, maybe that too, but majorly their logos.
You should go back and check. That already answers your question.
Thank you.
All right. Femi, please unmute and ask your question. We do not have much time. Femi, are you on this call?
Oh yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, sorry. Leopard was to be light. So the thing is, can you please go back to the textile stuff? Because I don't understand that part. I'm so sorry to stress you. Can we do it?
Please, you are stressing me, oh Jesus. You are going to pay money.
I'm so sorry. No,
So you
when I
said
know
NEPA
the stuff,
just to clear. That means when I was teaching
when
you were watching
no,
a movie.
I was using Wi-Fi. I was actually using Wi-Fi,
Teletubbies.
connected to Wi-Fi. No, Wi-Fi. I was using Wi-Fi, connected to Wi-Fi. So they took the lights. Immediately you said, Femi, okay. So I tried to on them by data.
Okay, so what exactly is it that you do not understand about textiles?
I understand the color, the one for the color palettes for the shapes, but it's the textile I don't get. I didn't get when in the beginning.
Why is that?
The networking is bad. I had to just look for a Wi-Fi around.
Okay,
But I'm
so
back to my mobile data.
what I said, right, is all you have to do. Okay, first of all, you decide what size you want your heading 1 to be. Like I said in the last class, heading 1 is majorly the biggest text, okay, you have on your design. And for a website, that's like when you're trying to, it actually helps for navigation. Okay, it helps the users to be able to navigate. You actually kind of, with that, you can direct your users' eyes to a particular information. Okay, it's just like going on a website and then you're seeing that this particular text is written, that is actually very bold, and then the text is larger than the rest of the text. You should know that that information is actually very important. So that's why we rank this heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, heading 5, heading 6, according to their importance. So first of all, you're going to decide what you want the largest text on your website or mobile application to be. And for today, I just want mine to be 64 points. So all I have to do here is write heading 1. Okay. And then I just use that. This is just like random, using this to write anything. And then this is where I get to put the size of the text, 64 points. And when that was done, since you said you were not here, I'm just going to detach this guy. And maybe put here heading 2. So all I have to do is create a style, right? And I am on the right side here where you have text, you can see this icon. Then when you hover over it, you see this text that says style. So all you have to do is click on it. And on the plus sign, this is where you can actually create a style for that text. So these are a list of the text styles that I have created. If you did not create anything, this place is going to be empty. So to create a style for this guy, all I have to do is click on this plus icon. And then here I can now call it heading 2, heading 2 pop-ins, because I want to be able to identify that particular text style. When that is done, I create my style. So it is very easy, now that I have created that, to come on my design and get a text too. I just randomly put something here, maybe foodie. And then I want to use that text style that I just created. What did we call it? Heading 2. So all I have to do is just come here, the same place that we the same process, click on the icon that says style, and then select. And this is the one we just created now, heading 2 pop-ins. We have it here. So do you understand?
Yeah, thank you. Understand.
All right, Louise, Kiru, please unmute and ask your
Life.
question.
Life is here. Okay, let me ask. First of all, asking
Hello, Louise.
I'm
Please
talking.
unmute.
I'm talking.
Your mic was
Okay.
muted.
You can hear me now.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I want to make reference to what I posted. The list, the checklist, the number 2 point. He said that we should check that each test has a test style and the color style. How do we look at, are we going to specify also specify a color style for a test after we have done the test style? That's what I want to ask. That is number 1. Then number 2, he made a point on that's the 4th one. Let me read it out, please. The 4th one, he said, sorry, let me just read it out. I dropped it. The 4th checklist, he said we should, sorry, just a few minutes. Let me just get it. Okay. The 4th one, he said that we should check that your style guide is done properly and it is in a rectangle section or different page. I didn't get that. What he means by that. That is my 2nd question. Then before I ask my 3rd one, is I understand how you got the home icon, but the frame 5 is what I didn't get. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's frame 5? Oh, this one.
I have asked him questions. Did you get my 3 questions?
Yes, I'm just going to answer one after the other. You said
Okay.
Aki said that Aki said your whatever text you have on your design should be linked to a particular text style. This is what he meant. That if he's clicking on, probably you guys had a design, maybe you have shoes here or bag. If I'm clicking on a text that has
not the one
bag
I mean
on it,
the color style for the test. The color style for the test, not the test style. He mentioned something about color style for this test.
If you're using a color for your text, you should like the design I sent to you guys. Majorly the colors there for the logo that had the color in the background and then the F was white. You create a color style for that. You already know that the colors you're using for your design, you have white, and then we have black for the text style. We have black, and then the other one looks a bit like gray or a faded black. So you know that these are the 2 styles that you're using for your text. So you can create text 1, text 2 to identify it by. So you know that text 1 is for the black and the other text 2 is for the other color that's more like gray. So this is what he means by that. If he's clicking on this, not only does he want to see the text that you use, but also the color style you use for the text.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay, if need be to change color from black to any other color, otherwise we can just identify it.
Yes, the colors, just like you have in the design, you asked to repeat it.
Okay. Then the 4th checklist you mentioned there. I didn't get it. I should read it again.
Yes, please.
Okay, let me read. He said, check that your style guide is done properly and that it has a rectangle stroke section on a different page. Didn't really get it. Let me read again. Check that your style guide is done properly.
Hey, don't worry about that. So this is what it means.
Okay.
This is what it means. This is in a frame now, a rectangle frame. And you know that this is typography. Sorry about this. Is supposed to be color styles. I forgot to change this. So that you can easily identify it. And it should be in a different page. This is a different page from my design. This is style guide. I named this style guide. I named this design. Do you understand?
Okay.
Any other question?
And the last one is the frame 5 for the home icon. How do you come about that frame 5?
I was answering somebody's question. It was not part of today's class. Auto layout. Were you in the last class?
I was, yeah. I know how you got the component, but now, okay, the frame 5, why is neutral color? I didn't get. I was in the last class actually.
This is auto layout. All I had to do was just get an icon, get a text, select them and add auto layout. That's all. If you're in the last class, you can still go back and rewatch the YouTube video. We do not really have much time.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Rosemary Akuma, please unmute and ask your question.
Hi, good evening. So basically what I want to ask is, after creating a variant, like when you create like that frame 5 and then you create variants, let's say when the home icon itself is highlighted or when the text is highlighted, how do we put it in our design? That's what I don't know how to do. Like after creating my variant, how am I going to, when I get back to my design page, how am I going to put the variant, the particular variant I want to use in my design?
Rosemary, all you have to do is copy and paste from the original. Copy it to your design and paste it. Do you understand? So if you're going to use the first, that's what we call it, variations, different variations, right? So you can have like 5 variants. So if you want to make use of the first variant, all you have to do is click on it, copy it, and paste it on your design. Do you understand?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Thank you.
That's way, if you're making a change on the original, it affects the one that you actually duplicated. Do you understand?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Israel, please unmute and ask your question.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
So I've got 2 questions to ask. The first one is the clarification concerning style guides on colors. So there seems to be an issue when choosing style guides for background images. For instance, we're told to design a style guide first. So what if I'm unable to get a background image that matches the primary style guide I chose for my color perfectly? Does that mean I have to look for an image? Like I must definitely get an image that fits the style guide for my primary color? That's the first question. Then the second question is issue of fonts. You said it's best for us to choose a font that has different families, like the thick, semi-thick, and stuff. So my question now is that for each of like if I use Eden now and I choose bold for Eden, does that mean I have to create a text style guide for each and every of the font family in that particular font size? I hope you get my question.
First of all, what's your first question again, please?
About color, background color. Getting a style guide that fits my background color. Is it advisable to get a background image first before creating a style guide that fits it, or I create a style guide for my background color first?
Okay, so this is where contrast comes in, and you guys should know that as a UI UX designer, right? UI UX is also it's also related to graphics. So if you know that whatever image or whatever color you're using does not quite fit with the text, or like you said, the primary colors, right? You should use your designer instinct to change it, so that you know that whatever you're doing, okay, you're applying a good level of contrast, okay, to either your image, to your text, and everything that has to do with your design. And then the second question, can you come again with that?
It's about the font family. You said it's best for us to choose a font that has a lot of options like bold, the semi-bold, italics, and all the rest like that. So my question now is, when I choose a particular font, let's say Barlow, for example.
Please, can you be more audible? We cannot hear you.
Okay. I said you said it's best for us to choose a font that has lots of family. I mean the bold, the semi-bold, and
Yes,
italics.
yes.
Then my question now is, if I should choose a particular font, let's say Spartan, for example, and for my heading, my first heading, I'm using 84 pixels, which is, does that mean I have to, like, is it compulsory for me to create for heading 1 to 5? That 84 must, that tick must be for the entire heading from 1 to 5. Or if I'm using semi-bold for heading 2, that should be what should be in my style guide for just that heading.
You're not being audible, but if I can get your question, okay. You're saying, if you're asking if you should create a text style for every one of them, like from heading 1 to 6, or maybe from, if that particular font had 100 to maybe 10, if you're supposed to create for everything. So someone actually taught me something. If I am not going to use that particular font size, okay, for my design, okay, there is no need creating a style guide for it. So I know what I want my heading to be. I know what I want my subheading to be. I know what I want my body text to be. My paragraph, my label, subtitle, and all of that. I know the font sizes, and I know that I'm going to make use of heading, subheading, body text, paragraph, and the rest of that. So I am going to create a style guide according to what I am going to use for my design. If I'm not going to use a particular font size, okay, why then add it to your text style? Do you understand?
I get you, ma.
All right.
Thank you.
Last question, I'm going to call it a night. Kenny, please unmute and ask your question.
Thank you very much. Please, I'm a little bit confused with the component and variant. I did it, and then I did it like almost 5 times. I'll copy and paste. And then when I try to check, nothing happens. Like, you were showing us that if we change a particular color on the component, it will change on all the other variants. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I've done it like almost 5 times. It's still giving me the same thing. What I do, like you said, you create the home and all of that, and then you click on create components and then begin to make the variants. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Thank you.
Okay, I just realized I'm actually on live because I actually wanted to say something, but let me say it anyway. I wanted to say, let me do that. So this is where we created our components and variants, right? And as you can see here, this was actually for a website. We have here the default, we have here for the about, okay. And each of these guys, you know the reason why we used these colors for each and every one of them. So if I'm to get this guy, maybe I should just okay. I'm to get this guy, I'm just going to copy this. Maybe to use it for my design. And then I come back here. This is where we had our website. And I probably want to add it here. This is actually very big though. Okay, so I've pasted it here, right? So you said something about I am changing the color and then nothing happened. So let's try it out with you too. So let's come here. The primary color here, we're going to just change it to something else. maybe this new color that we have here, and then we're going to go back here. Have you seen this? So you probably did not copy, or you missed out on something. So like I said, it's a process. So you have to just go over it again and make sure you're not missing out on anything. So this is the, okay, and I also think that you should also note that before you even, you know, add a variant, okay, you have to create a component. Okay, there are steps to this thing. So all you have to do is copy, like I told Louis, copy, and then you press it on your design or whoever asked that question. And then you saw that I went back here and I changed the color and it affected this guy. So I'll advise you, Kenny, to start all over again, okay? Make sure that you're not missing out on anything. Create your variant and then copy and paste it on your design and try again.
I've done it like 5 times. I know I'm missing something. I don't know what it is.
Okay, can we talk about this later? Just send me a message on Slack.
All right then, thank you.
All right. Olamide, because you're not getting any other questions after now.
I don't have a question. I just wanted to talk about the person that just asked the question. I used to have that same issue, but I think the problem is when you copy and paste, a lot of people might carry the first, like the one on top, thinking it's the original one. And the one down is actually the component. I don't know if you get me. So when you copy and paste, the one down is the one that you should keep. That's the one that will make effect when you change anything. I don't know if you understand me.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Does any mentor have anything to say? Design tree, Trudy, who else is on this call? Does anybody?
Not from my end.
Okay, thank you very much. Trudy, are you on this call? David, Iachi. Okay, so that'll be all, guys. I'll just hand over to ICase to end the meeting. Thank you very much, guys.
Okay, so guys, thank you very much. I want to believe that a lot of you have actually gotten a certain level of clarity as to what is required of you, both of your tasks and also knowledge-wise with regards what you have been taught so far. Okay, so please, like I said, I'm going to give from now till 12 p.m. tomorrow for you all to go through your Figma board and make the necessary changes so that once we start grading, okay, we don't have to give another feedback. You have just one feedback left. Remember I said after 3 feedbacks, you're not going to get anyone again. Okay, so you have just one feedback word left. So I'll advise you go through the previous video, you go through this one also to gain more clarity. You have from now to 12 p.m. tomorrow to actually sort that out. Okay, so thank you guys very much. Okay, and have a wonderful evening.